What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Jason here with No Tone Amps, and today's how it works video is amp volume in relation to how the pedals interact with the amp. I'm not using anything insane, nothing crazy. There's no movie magic going on here. What we're using is let me run you through it here real quick. Actually, let me close this blind. There you go. Make it a little easier for y'all to see. All right, we're using a no-tone Deuce. This is our Deuce amp. You figure out how to make this thing work here. That's our Deuce amp. It is a El34 15-watt amp. I'm using one of our homemade attenuators, and the reason I like to use our homemade attenuator when I record, it's made for smaller amps, and it doesn't really color your tone. When you're doing a recording, you don't want a lot of color in your tone. Now, the flip side of that is if you're going to use an attenuator live, you need to get an attenuator that has the ability to boost your treble, because when you're turning down your volume in a live situation, you got a drummer going and band, everything else, you want to brighten your tone up just a little bit. It helps the audience hear you. It helps you cut through. If you're looking for something like that, go look up tedweberspeakers.com. Look at their mass attenuators. They are awesome. They work great. If you want something for a small amp, for your bedroom, your house, recording, whatever, send me a DM through Instagram or Facebook, or email info@notoneamps.com. I build these things really cheap. They work great for small room recording situations. Okay, now that said, the rest of the equipment. I have a Sennheiser 906. I have my pedal board here. I've got a Voodoo Labs Pedal Power ISO 5. I've got an electro-harmonic silencer. What that does is allow us to talk without listening to single coil hum. I have our Napalm 2-stage overdrive pedal, which is not currently on. I have the Tri Reverb by Yang, just a little cheap Chinese reverb pedal. And then I have the MXR carbon copy, which has the blue light on it right now. Also, I'm using a SM58 for a room mic. And then back here behind me, we just got Pro Tools on. So there's no recording gimmicks, there's no craziness. I'm not that super technical. So the tone you get is the tone that you're going to get. So let's start out. We're starting out with an amp on about 3. This is Telecaster. If you watched any of my videos, you know all about this Telecaster. If you want to know about it, go back and watch some of my older videos. There's one from just a couple days ago where I explain what all the setup is on this one. So we're going to start out in the neck. I'm going to play the same 3 chords for everything. I'm going to try to do the same little pattern unless I just get lost in my brain and forget it. But the reason for that is not to show you my amazing guitar playing skills that I don't have. It's to show you the tone and how the tone changes. I'm also going to keep the attenuator set about the same, and the reason for that is repeatability. If you see how everything reacts with each other, then you're also going to be able to hear the volume differences, the tone differences. You'll get the whole spectrum of how things change. So I'm just going to leave stuff alone, and I'm going to turn stuff off and on. What I will be changing is the gain knob on the amp. We want to compare how do pedals work with an amp set at low clean settings, low gain clean settings, versus set it, let's say, just starting to break up a little bit. Here's an example. Again, I'm just using the MXR and the amp. This is the amp set on 3 in the neck. Go down to the bridge. And just for your purposes, it's probably about 50 decibels in this room. It's really quiet. That is not loud at all. You won't get in trouble with your mom, your grandma, your wife, your girlfriend, your whatever, boyfriend, whoever it is you're living with, and whoever it is having to listen to you play. You're not getting in trouble. It's very quiet. It's very manageable. It's tame. So now we'll go from 3 on the amp to 7 on the amp. Start back up in the neck again. Just for your references, I am in the small room setting on the Deuce. It has a small room setting, and then it has a setting that takes a little bit of the bottom end out of the amp. My gain again is on 7. It was on 3. My tone is straight up at 12 o'clock, and my master on the amp is all the way up. So, no surprise there. Everyone saw that coming. Everyone knew that was going to be the change in going from 3 to 7. You start to overdrive. Great. The tone gets fuller as it starts to overdrive. Now, let's throw another curveball into the equation. I'm going to leave the MXR on for the entire time. I'm not turning it off. That way we don't change our tone. We're going to turn the amp back down on 3. We're going to turn on stage 1 of the Napalm pedal, which is set up as a clean boost. Let's see what happens. Go back to the neck. Volume, the gain on the amp is on 3. The only thing we've changed is turning on stage 1 of the Napalm. So there you have it. And that's a pretty close tone to just turning the amp up to 7. It may be the tone you're looking for. It may not be the tone you're looking for. Let's find out. Let's turn the gain up to 7. It's the only thing we're changing. Go back up to the neck. So, again, nothing groundbreaking, nothing changing the revolution of the earth here. That's everything that most of us probably expected. If you're new to guitar, you're new to pedals, you're new to amps, maybe that, it gives you a little idea of what's going on. Now, we could play with some settings on this amp. We could take it off the small room setting, put it on, the big room setting. It's going to open our tone up a little bit. We could even put a little bit more treble in the amp. It's going to open the tone up just a little bit. But we got one more thing to play with here. Let's go back down to 3. Now, we're leaving stage 1 of the Napalm on. The MXR is on. We're going to turn on stage 2 of the Napalm. This is the overdrive stage. Stage 1 is either a clean boost or an overdrive. Stage 2 is a distortion. So let's go ahead and flip that on. I'm not going to do the neck because that's pointless. I'm just going to do bridge for this 2 comparisons. Let's go up to 7. Okay, so what did we learn going from 3 to 7 with a boost and a distortion? Well, the number one thing you do is you don't lean in 2 inches from your amp. It will get loud. It'll start humming on you. The other thing that we learned is compression, saturation. That makes the big difference in tone. Listen again. What you're hearing mainly is saturation, but you're also beginning to hear a little bit of that. You're hearing beginning to hear the amp compress a little bit. This is on 3. Pedals are all the same. Stage 1, stage 2, MXR. Amp gain is back on 3. Back to 7. Now that's starting to sound like it should sound. You're saturating the output transformer and you're compressing the amp. That's what gives you that warm, smooth, creamy, overdrive, rock and roll tone. I think a lot of times people expect a pedal to do all the work. They buy an amp, they buy a 50 watt, 100 watt amp, even a 15 watt amp. Trust me, without an attenuator, gets stupid loud on 7. You will make your mom, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your whatever, you'll make them angry when you're trying to open that up at home. But as you can see, the attenuator allows us to achieve that holy grail smooth tone in a room environment. That's the difference between trying to run pedals through a clean amp at home and maintain noise level and thinking, man, I'm just not getting the tone. My tone sucks. I just can't get there. You can get there, but you have to open up an amp. An amp is only beginning to work at 3. It's just starting to open up. The notes are just starting to bloom. If you've got your amp down on 1 in your bedroom, the notes aren't blooming. There's no compression. There's no sag. There's no nothing going on. All you're getting is, you basically might as well plug into a hi-fi amp because it's pretty much just spitting your signal right back out at you. Excuse me. And in a guitar amplifier, that's not what you want. You want that amp to color your tone. You want that amp to give you some feedback. And I don't mean the squealing kind. I mean, you want the amp to become one with you. So, again, I'm going to do it one more time. This is on 3. This is with stage 1, stage 2, and an MXR. And we're in the bridge. Go up to 7. So, there you have it. Do I recommend you to get an attenuator so that you can get your tone at home? Yes, I do. This video shows you why you need an attenuator. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of touring musicians who are using attenuators live. You know why? Because they're running their equipment through the house. They can't crank up these amps a lot of times. Even in big venues, they won't crank it up because they know how to get their tone and they know how to do it without having to deal with a sound man. They can crank their amp up, turn the attenuator down, get the saturation, compression, get everything they want, get their entire tone. They don't have to hear, hey man, turn it down. Hey man, do this. Hey man, do that. It makes life easy. It sounds good at home. It sounds good live. It sounds good everywhere. So, I hope you guys learned a little something from this. Y'all have a good rest of your day.